Business, a person's occupation, profession, or trade. Connection, a relationship in which a person or idea is linked or associated with something else. Welcome to Business Connection. Each week, our program will offer inspiration to navigate the business world. Information you can use to succeed in any field. And we will help you focus on your goals. Join us now for Business Connection with your host, BC Clark.
Hello, and welcome to the Business Connection. I'm your host, BC Clark. As you know, I interview business owners across the state, some out of state, but today my guest is Symidahl Okereke. And she's going to introduce herself, and we're going to find out a little bit more about what she does and who she is. Welcome to the show.
Thank you
Symidahl.
so much. Again, yes, my name is Symidahl Okereke, and I own Legato Living at Indian Hills. We are a 9-bed memory care in a residential setting. So in that kind of situation, you have one short hallway, one kitchen, one dryer, washer, room, and things like that, so you don't get lost in the hallways. So that's what we're promoting there, is a smaller environment so we can have better one-on-one care with our
That's
residents.
awesome. And so it's memory care, is that correct?
Yes.
And so so this is more of an upscale facility.
Yes.
Okay, and I think a lot of times, because I've seen quite a few of the assisted livings and that are in homes, and it's like a home.
Yes.
It's not like a, yours is in a upscale area.
Yes.
And it's the home is beautiful.
Thank
Absolutely
you.
beautiful.
Thank you so much.
I mean, yes, it's just absolutely beautiful. And I think that the thing that's unique about Legato Living at Indian Hills is that it's so intimate with each of your clients.
Yes.
Each client, they're the only ones there. You know what I mean? I mean, they get that kind of care
Yes.
at your place.
Yes, they do.
So
we strive to make sure that there's no more than 4 residents to 1 caregiver. That way our caregivers aren't overworked and the residents aren't overstimulated with a bunch of faces and being neglected by not being able to be seen because there's so many residents.
Right. I think that that's so much better because, especially when they're trying to basically just understand what's happening to them.
Sure.
I think it's easier when it's limited amount of people coming and going.
Yes.
I think that it makes it so much easier for them. And I think I read somewhere once that in memory care, because a lot of times they're in a facility where it's multiple people, shifts changing and all of that, and that it's harder for them to really settle.
Yes. So I've found a couple of our residents have come from larger places. Their families have witnessed a change in how they do in this smaller setting. And we have testimonials on that smaller setting really making them feel like they're at home.
Yes.
They know they're not at home. They still say, I want to go home, but they know they are safe. They know there's always eyes on them. And if they're ever needing anything, our care staff, they give them what they need. And then they also ask, do you need anything else before they turn away? But they never go too far because it's not a large facility.
Yeah, and that's a great thing too. And and it's secure.
Right.
Because a lot of, the places I've seen have not been secure, and yours is very secure. And I think that way, especially with memory care folks, you have to watch them. You have to keep your eye on them, because they'll open up the door and then you'll be looking for them.
Exactly.
But I love that it's a secure place. I actually toured the facility.
Yes.
The home, because that's what it felt like to me. It wasn't like like when you think of assisted living, you think of this building and there's multiple staff and all of that. But this one is so unique, and it's a beautiful setting. It's quiet. They can watch TV. It's just a nice opportunity for them to be social when they need to be social, and when when it's time when they don't want to be bothered, there's time for them to do that, and places for them to do that within the home, so that they don't have to feel like they're in just one spot. So I really like that. I think that that's really what makes your place a lot different. It's unique. Because I haven't seen a home facility that was that really that beautiful. No, really.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah, no, it's really amazing. And the location. the location is like,
Right.
it's
Central.
yes.
Central Omaha.
And it doesn't feel like Central Omaha. It feels like you're away somewhere. So that's what I really like about it. It's not, and you don't have all the traffic running back and
Right.
forth and all that kind of stuff. I really think that that's a really great place for people to go. And so tell me a little bit more about, so what's the requirements, at that place? Because, it's different than a lot of the other assisted
Sure.
facilities.
So the requirements is really based on having the dementia diagnosis. You don't have to have it to come to our assisted living, but that is our special care focus. So we just advise families that is what we focus on. The other thing is we do 24/7 care. We do adult day service. We also provide respite care. So if you just want a break because you're taking care of a loved one at home, you are welcome to come drop your family member off for a couple days or a couple weeks just so you can reset. And then come back and get your family member. And then that also is a segue into when they become maybe too difficult for you to take care of. Now there's a place that they still felt like at home.
That you feel comfortable.
And
they
so
feel
you
comfortable
can
with
go
as
ahead
well.
and graduate and move them in
Yes.
permanently. So the main requirement is we receive payment through private pay and long-term insurance. Other than that, there is no
other
requirement.
requirements. Yes.
If you don't have the diagnosis, you can accept that that's the population that we mostly focus on.
Yeah.
And other than that, there's no other requirements.
And I think that's good to know, because a lot of the assisted living doesn't do respite, and they don't do
Adult day.
adult daycare. Like you
Right.
can bring someone there and they're entertained for the whole day or what have you.
Right.
And so I think that that's something key that that's different too. And the thing I love about the home is that it's different areas. So like the adult day, they're in a different complete area. And so it just doesn't feel like it feels
Everyone on top of themselves.
yeah, and it feels homey.
Yes.
There's a kitchen, there's
Yeah.
just like normal things.
Right.
And then desired spaces
Right.
for what you're doing.
Right.
The house is huge.
It is.
know?
But not too huge.
Not too huge. Yeah, it's
yes.
perfect actually for what you're doing. And then knowing that it's just nine rooms for the individuals.
Right, nine
beds.
residents, yes.
Yeah. And so that really, someone is really looking, that's private pay, and they're looking for a unique place to bring
Yes.
their loved one that they can feel totally comfortable. That has to be the place, because I don't know any other place like that in
The
Omaha.
biggest piece is to educate families that this is an option because it's a newer model.
Yeah.
Omaha's not used to seeing this, and if you say residential assisted living, they think group home, but it's nothing like a group home.
No, it's definitely not
it's
that.
definitely an upscale memory assisted living setting.
Yes.
You will get your 3 meals
You
a
will
day,
know it's
your
upscale
snacks.
when you see
As
the
soon
house.
as you walk in,
when
the
you see
food
it,
is home cooked. I order all the food, make sure we have the right things in there. We have that gravy. We have our care staff do all the work, so they do the cooking, the cleaning, the
Yes.
taking care of the residents, the activities,
Yes.
making sure that they're hands-on, so they know exactly what our residents like and don't like.
Yes.
And they're also able to tell the nurse, our director of nursing, what changes they're seeing, so
Yes.
that we can stay on top of their care plan. Because
Yes.
that's another thing is in a larger setting, they're not able to do that. You can't do it hands-on every day.
That's
all day.
one-on-one care.
It
and
is.
They're not able to do
It
that
is.
in
And
a
so the
large
smaller
setting.
setting allows us to really focus on the residents one-on-one.
Yes.
And I've seen the changes. We've had to get a hospital bed from a regular bed just off of the changes, seeing that our
Yes.
resident now his knees don't work like they used to, but we caught it right away and made an adjustment right
Yes.
away, and the family really appreciates that.
That's and I think what's so good is that the families, they see the difference.
Yes.
When they come in, they feel like they're in their own home, because most of them are
Correct.
in those type of homes, right?
Right.
And so that's kind of like their setting that they're used to being in.
Right.
So to go into this, it's like, okay, I'm somebody in the house, and the relative, it's one of our relatives have
Right.
this house, And
Right.
so that's what I thought. And as you look at the residents that are there, they seem so happy. They are just, sitting there watching their shows
Matt
or whatever,
Lauder. Right.
and just having a good time and feeling really good about where they are. They don't feel stressed out. They look so calm and peaceful.
I
So that's
appreciate
got to
that.
be, something. And you're right. I don't think that we have that model here.
No, it's not a big
Yes.
thing yet. I think families will appreciate it moving forward
Yes.
as they learn about it. But again,
Yes.
it's down to education, because most places will just refer to a larger
larger facility. Yeah. But most people want to see they can't be comfortable at home when their family member is not in a setting that they feel is comfortable for
Right.
them.
Right.
And so that's why I think that you're probably going to end up with a waiting list.
I would love that.
Yeah. You know,
Yes.
that's what I'm thinking, because it is such a unique space.
Right.
It really is. And not only that, but a lot of times when you say assisted living, people are looking at big, 3 and 4 buildings. It's buildings. It's not homes.
Right.
And the ones
Right.
in the homes, it's not like that. So I think that when people really start seeing this model, they're going to be requesting to have more of that type of a model for their
Right.
loved ones.
Right.
Especially the ones who are doing private pay.
Correct.
Because that's what it is. You accept private pay and long-term insurance.
Correct.
And so most of them have they're used to a particular setting.
Right.
Right? So to go into that setting, it feels like home to them.
Right.
So, and the family would feel that same way too.
They do.
And so that's what I think is really unique about that. I think it's really good.
Yeah.
So right now, I know that you have some individuals there. You have some beds that may be empty.
Yes, I do. I
Okay.
have a couple of beds. I have 7 beds open right now.
Okay.
I don't like to call them beds because they
No.
will be people.
Right.
But we do have 7 openings. One thing I want to share with your audience is that a difference between us and larger assisted facilities is that we can do the higher level of care. And what I mean by that is we can take residents that need Hoyer lifts, sit to stands, or 2-person assistance.
Yes.
As well as they progress in the dementia diagnosis, they may need help with feeding.
Yes.
And we'll also be able there
Do that.
be
So
able to do
yours is like, I want to put it like this, it's surround service.
Yes.
Everything that they would need. So
Yes, it's
and talk about those
all-inclusive.
things again.
Yes.
What's all inclusive?
all inclusive. So we help with those ADLs, which are like bathing, dressing.
Sure.
We can also feed them. We do meal preparation because we have the staff that cooks the meals. We do wash it. We do laundry. Excuse me, I keep saying wash it. We
Yeah.
do laundry. We do all the linen cleanings. We
You have
also
the lifts?
provide. We also have the lifts. We also provide. The haircuts and the
Yeah, the beauty,
do
whatever
the
they
beauty,
need. Yes, yes.
to make sure that they still look and feel their
Feel good.
best.
Yes.
My daughter is actually waiting for us to get a resident that's a female so she could do some fingernails. But the main thing that sets us apart is that we are able to do those equipments, the Hoyer,
Yeah.
the sit to stand, and the 2-person assistance. Because a lot of places will tell you have to go to higher
To
level
different-
care,
right.
to a skilled nursing or nursing home, to be able to receive those
So
kind of
you
services.
basically, along with this, have the skilled nursing etiquette.
It's,
everything
it's
is in there.
somewhat
It's
like
somewhat
skilled
like
nursing.
skilled
We
nursing.
don't have that licensure to say we're skilled
Skilled
nursing,
nursing, but
but we
you have
have
all
the
those-
ability because we have the smaller ratio to assist
Yes.
in those transfers.
Yes, no, that's amazing. That's amazing. And so I know that you are doing some advertising and
Yes.
some communications and things
Yes.
like that. How is that going for you? Do you think that you need to maybe do some other things? Like this definitely will help.
Yes,
you'll
this
get
will help.
input.
We've done Boomer Radio, we've done Facebook, Instagram. I've done Lunch and Learns on Tuesdays in this past August, every Tuesday. And that really brought out a lot of people. Our grand opening was amazing, so I know there's a buzz,
Yeah.
but we just need to keep the awareness in the community so that
Have
they
you
know
done
we're an
any
option.
Facebook Live of
No.
the internal facility? I think
have
that
not.
would be great.
Okay.
I just did one with one of my clients last week.
Sure.
She just moved into a storefront. And so we did a Facebook Live, and there was, the hits just, where is this located? I mean,
Sure.
and so I think that because I don't care who you are, you're on Facebook.
Yes.
And if
Or
you're
your,
live,
or your children in
or
this
your children,
instance.
right?
are
They'll say,
on
"Hey, this is a
Facebook.
place for grandma. It's a place for grandpa."
Right.
And so seeing that, and then maybe showing some of the spaces inside and maybe the outside, I think that's gonna
I
that
hear you.
people, yeah,
Yes.
I really do. I think that's gonna be great.
I got you. I'll do that.
Yeah, Facebook Live, I think, does bring in a lot of
Okay.
attention to things, you know, and even though people say, well, I don't want to do Facebook, but
Sure.
Facebook is moving.
It
And
is.
people are out there looking for those things, you know, they're looking on Instagram, they're looking for movies, and on Facebook, they're looking for it to be live, to see what's going, and they'll, you know, so take your time and do some of that. I think that's, would be a good thing to do so that we can get some more traffic coming in, you know what I mean?
Yes.
And I think just still stress upscale because it is, you know, and upscale assisted living at Indian Hills, because I think that's what it is. It's not what people think so, and they have to come.
Yes.
You know, say, you know, we can't describe it because it's so beautiful. You have to come and see.
You do,
You
yeah.
have to come and see. And just those who are private pay and long-term insurance.
Correct.
Because that way, you know, you don't have to worry about traffic coming in
Right.
that's not going to be able to be there.
Right.
You know, but I think that that's some of the stuff that, so tell us a little bit more about what maybe you're planning to do, some of your, you know, what you expect to happen over the next couple of years.
Okay.
Okay.
Sure. Phase 2, after we fill up upstairs, I have an open basement that's finished, has a speakeasy, it's beautiful. My plan is to open up adult day down there. That would be a separate program. They'll have a separate entrance and they can be there for the 8 hours that most people, caregivers, are at work.
Right.
I do that with my grandmother on Monday and Fridays. She goes to adult day service. It's a great time for them to get exposure to other people, get out of the house, get dressed, shower,
do all that.
find some sense of purpose, and then it's a place to have fun.
Yes.
And that's my goal in the near future, because I plan to be full here shortly.
Yes, well, you will be. Yeah, I don't think you're going to have a problem with that, especially once people come and see the facility at that. And I don't want to call it a facility because it's like a home.
It is a home. It is.
It's not a facility.
It just has a
And I think
license,
that,
but it is a home.
Yeah,
for sure.
it is. And I think that that's what people are going to be sold on, the fact that it is so homey, you know, and their loved ones are in a home, you know, in an upscale assisted facility.
I have a question for you.
Yes.
Because I get feedback when I have tours. How clean was the house?
Oh, God.
I
Exceptional.
have the best staff ever because the staff cleans, not
It
some
is.
cleaning company. At
It's
the end of the night,
definitely-
it's the staff.
Yeah,
They
and
are
you could
amazing.
tell, I mean, the baseboards and everything. You know what I'm saying?
The house is clean.
The house is.
There's no
the house-
scent. We keep it clean.
Yeah, and when you walk in, it's an inviting kind of a smell that you know that you guys have going on there. You know, it's an ambience. So when you walk in, you feel that upscale. You do. You feel it. You feel it. Yeah, and it's just decorated so perfectly.
Thank you.
You know, so yeah, I mean, it's really an upscale home.
I agree.
for
I would want
every
anyone
care.
that I know to live there. As well.
Yes, no, it's absolutely perfect. It really is. And I think, you know, that a lot of times people have the wrong idea because they've seen assisted livings. They've seen it, right? They've seen it every kind, but they haven't seen this model.
Right.
And I think that's what we have to keep saying.
Right.
This is a new model
Right.
of upscale assisted living.
Right.
Because, yeah, they have this type in New York. They have it
Right.
in California. You know, they have it probably in Chicago. They don't have it here in Omaha. So to have it, to introduce it here in Omaha, people are going to want to come and see.
Right.
You know, and that's what we're banking on. That's why I think doing, you know, like Facebook Live would really be good to just show off the place.
I gotcha.
You know, I think that would be really nice. And then I think the other thing that I think is unique about your place is that, you know, the grandpas, they look at any little kids come by and you know they're spending time. So that's
Right.
good for them too. You know.
I know I showed you a picture the other day of my
Yes.
daughter.
Yeah.
She loves our residents. They love her. She puts on a show every single time, and they always make sure when I leave, if she's not there, make sure you tell her we said hi.
Yeah,
So I love it. It's definitely a family, and they definitely are home
And that's the other
away
thing I
from
want
home.
to say. It's family oriented. You know, I mean, like, so their loved ones can come,
Right.
you know, with the family, and
Right.
so that's
And
another
if
thing.
we don't have
that's-
visiting hours, so they can come anytime.
Anytime
if
they
you
want.
work during the day, you can come late at night.
Yes.
As long as they're awake, they'll
Yeah.
be there for you. You know, if they're asleep. But
And I think that's
another
something
thing.
that's unique too, is because the family that reassures a family that they can come anytime they want to. Because a lot of times, you know, they don't want, you know, you go to some place
visiting
when you
hours
can't
over at
yes,
8.
you can't you can't come to visit him at this time, you know, no matter what your schedule is, because this is our schedule. And so I don't think that's right, but for yours, you know, they could come anytime.
Anytime
And
they
I think the other thing too, it helps them to feel secure about their loved one because it's not like they have to plan to go.
Right.
They can just show up and
ring the
they
door
see,
and the door is
yes,
open.
and the door is open. And so I think that, you know, so we want to talk about that because that's really something that a lot of people don't get. You know, they have certain hours that they can come and go.
Right.
You know,
Yeah,
but
it's open to everyone anytime.
yes, all their
We're
family
not
members
hiding
can
anything.
come.
You can come anytime.
Yeah. I mean,
see
and
real-time
that's it.
care, yeah.
That's, I like that. It's real-time care. So whenever a family wants to come,
Yes.
I mean, some families, you know, maybe not the initial family that brought them, but there's other family members that may work overnight or whatever and want to come before they go home in the morning. And, you know, so just knowing that they can do that gives them some sense of, you know, of safety and that it's okay. You know what I mean?
Right.
And that's important. Because a lot of times, you know, well, you know, we can't come. What happens at that time when I can't come?
Right. Right.
You know, you have to wonder, you know, like, why can't I come at 9?
Right.
You know?
Right.
What's happening to my loved one at that
we
time?
have some late night fellas, so yeah, you can come pretty late.
24/7. Yeah. Yeah, as long as they're up. And so I think that's really good. So I think that, you know, so what have you noticed about that industry that really made you wanted to get into that?
You know, my grandmother had a friend, his name was Deacon Imes. He passed away from Alzheimer's a year and a half ago. And then now my great aunt and great uncle have Alzheimer's. So it's the new C word, where most people will be affected indirectly or directly by this disease. And so I've always had a desire to love on seniors. It came naturally
I do too.
when I was born.
Yeah.
Everybody's older. My grandmother's 88. My mom, well, she's young, but my dad's 84.
Yeah.
So my grandparents, when I was born, my grandmother was in her 90s. She only lived. She passed away when I was 5. So I was born into an older family, born into an older church family, and so it just came natural to help them. I helped you with your bags the other day. I don't think about that as helping, and a lot of people say, you know, you should post that on social media, but that just comes natural to me.
Yeah.
You're a senior. I just see y'all differently. There's a need. I try and fill it.
Fill that need.
If you need the door held, I hold it. That just comes
That
natural
just comes
to
natural
me.
for you.
And so
You
I
can
was
tell
looking,
the passion that you have.
I was looking to service seniors any way I could. I started in-home care because my grandmother needed it and I could not find the information. So I was like, well, let me start this. And I also was researching residential assisted living at the same time because I had a desire to do that as well. So I'm doing both. And we're going to make it happen.
That's amazing. Yeah. It's happening already.
It is
It's
happening
happening. I mean, and the thing that's so good is that when you love what you do, people feel that.
Yes.
You know, and that's why those seniors that are in there, they feel the love.
They do.
They really do. Like,
And their
you know,
families
go up
do.
and,
And
you know,
I'm-
you're doing the fist
I
bump.
do.
I said, how cute is that?
I do. That's how I greet them, is with the fist bump.
Yeah. And they're just like,
Yeah.
I love that. Well, you know, I always wonder how people get into stuff, you know, and sometimes, a lot of times for the wrong reason. But I
Right.
love when their passion is to serve like that, you know, because that's a servant, you know.
It is.
It's a servant.
It's a ministry.
Yes, it is. It's a ministry. It really is a ministry.
Yes,
And I
ma'am.
would say that, you know, they say there's servant leaders, and that's a servant ministry. I'm telling you,
I agree.
to have that feel for them, you know, because it is, you know, a lot of people, they take advantage of them, you know, and stuff like that. And I've heard that happening a lot of times in assisted living, where they, you know, if they have access to their money and stuff like that, you know, it's just so crazy. But to know that they're in a loving environment, you know, and things around them feel so good and so happy, I just know that it won't be long. Those beds are going to be filled. And I love that because, you know, it's not like it's a number.
No, they're not.
Go to room 909, you know,
No.
room 909 is, you know,
We
they're
have
people.
no numbers on the doors.
Yeah, no, I know.
And we have no name tags.
Yeah.
We know our residents.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's important. And I think that's really important to them too, because the more you say things to them, and, you know, it helps them to always have memory.
Right.
You know what I mean? To have their
Right.
memory at least flowing, even though they may be, you know what I mean?
Right.
I have a brother that's, you know, and when he was always active, and when he just stopped talking, that's just like, I couldn't
Break
handle
your
it.
heart.
Oh my gosh, it's like, and, you know, so So he probably doesn't really remember anybody. I guess they have spurts where all of a sudden they get I know, they may talk to you.
Or it may be a long-term memory and not a short-term.
Yeah.
It just depends because there's so many different kinds of
dimensions.
dementias.
I didn't realize that until recently. I did not. Now I know that Bruce Willis, he was diagnosed, and his is frontal, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
And I was like, I didn't know there was different types. So that you have, you have that passion, and you've studied on all these different types, and so you're ready for whatever they have. That they're ready. The home is ready. So I just look forward to you having that field and opening up your second location. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Because that's what's going to be. I'm telling you. You just need to do that.
Gotcha.
Because that's what it's going to be. So, so I know that you have employees and things like that, and Legato. Tell us a little bit more. Legato living at Indian Hills.
Yes.
That's the
name of our location. I'm a franchise owner, so there are other locations, but this is the only home that I own. The other locations are represented by other owners.
Okay.
So it's a
one.
local franchise.
I just have to keep saying that. But so
it is upscale.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. It's for
beautiful.
the residents that we're looking for, the families that are looking for exceptional care in a beautiful, clean,
unique
place.
Yes. Yes.
So it is upscale.
Yeah.
But those other homes, like I said, they're owned by other owners. And every house is different.
Yes.
So this house has a particular character, and
it does.
I just decorated it to.
Yeah, you did that!
Exclamation mark! Right?
You did that. It is fabulous. It really is. Like I said, if I didn't know, I wouldn't know that it was memory care.
Right.
Assisted living. But that's what makes it so unique. So I'll just repeat this again. It's called Legato Living at Indian Hills.
Correct.
Yeah. So I would say Legato Living, upscale assisted living.
At Indian Hills.
That's my take. At Indian Hills. Let's add that in there. At Indian Hills.
Yes.
Okay. And so anything you want to tell those who might be thinking about that? We have a few seconds left.
Yes, sure. We are located at 8504 Douglas Street. We're 1 block west of Methodist Hospital.
Yes.
If you can get to that hospital to make sure your family is being seen because you are concerned about any memory care issues or you can't handle them anymore, we are 1 block away. Just come that 1 block, tour the house,
and
then discharge straight over across the street.
That's it.
And we will take care of your family.
I love it. I love it. Well, listen, you've heard that. This is the Business Connection. I'm your host, BC Clark. This was Symidahl Okereke. Okereke.
That's okay.
And we'll see you next time. But
Awesome.
Legato Living, upscale assisted living at Indian Hills.
Awesome. Thank you.